Hello, I'm Kerry Fager. In this video, we'll go into detail about what makes a good Google My Business page. As we all know, Google is the leading search engine on the web, so if you have a customer-facing brick-and-mortar business, the information on your Google My Business, or GMB page for short, is pretty important. You want to make sure that what users see in search results is accurate, because in some cases, that may be all they see. A lot of searchers aren't even getting to the actual website of a business, especially if they're searching on mobile. This is what local information coming from a GMB page looks like today in the Knowledge Card, or Knowledge Panel as it's called, in a desktop search on google.com. And here's what it looks like on a mobile device. There's so much information that the screenshots were too long and I had to break them in half. If you see something slightly different when you search for a business in Google than what I'm seeing here for Oddfellows Ice Cream, don't be thrown off. Google is constantly changing the look and feel of search results, especially when it comes to local information. On a side note, what I refer to as the GMB page and dashboard where info is edited has had several names over the years. And by the time you watch this, it could even have a different name. But most of the principles that I discussed here have remained fairly consistent over time. So let's look at the details of what makes a well-optimized GMB page. Even though I refer to it as a GMB page or listing, a lot of searchers don't even make it to the actual page in Google Maps, which you see here. Often, they only see the information as it's listed in the Knowledge Panel of a regular google.com search if they're searching directly for the business, so we'll just refer to that. First and foremost, if a business is eligible for a GMB page, it's essential for the page to be verified. Google may have already generated a page for the business, or one may need to be built from scratch. Either way, Google will require the page to be verified via phone, a letter in the mail, email, or some other method. Verifying a page tells Google and users that the info on the page has been vetted by the owner, because it means the owner or a representative of the business can update the info. There used to be a visible check mark indicating if a page is verified, but that doesn't exist at the time this video was recorded. Let's talk about the different components of the page. The page should definitely display some photos. Google has repeatedly said that these are important. The photos should highlight something that represents the business, like the storefront or images of the products that the business offers. This example is an ice cream shop, so photos of what's on the menu and the interior of the business are great options. The primary photo that displays in the Knowledge Panel is particularly important because that will influence users' initial perception of the business. Photos should show users what to expect before they visit the business, which can help with conversion. They could be photos of what I've already mentioned, or pretty much anything related to the business, but you do want to avoid using stock photos, since those don't fully represent the business in the way that an actual photo of the business does. Google can also connect businesses with photographers, called trusted pros at the time this video was recorded, that come on site and take professional quality interior photos of the business for a fee, which can then be added to the GMB page. Next, we have the nuts and bolts of the page: business name, website, a business category. If the business fits under multiple business categories or types, more than one can be selected. The one that displays on the page can change depending on how a user finds the page. The address, business hours, additional URLs, which can have various uses depending on the type of business. In this example, a menu and sites to make an order are used. Other types of businesses can have a URL used for making appointments. A phone number, and a description of the business. There are also a few other fields that apply to some businesses but not to others, and the fields Google makes available change all the time. So just pay attention to what's available currently and use the fields that make sense for the business. But the main point here is, and it may seem obvious, to ensure that all the appropriate information is filled out and that it's accurate. Reviews are also a very important part of having a well-optimized GMB page, but we'll go into more detail on reviews in other videos. Now let's talk about some things that are not so good to do on a GMB page. Having photos that are low quality or not related to the business, using a fake address where the business doesn't really conduct its business, using inaccurate business hours, not using categories, which are the primary method Google uses to determine the type of business, having a spammy description that just lists a bunch of keywords and doesn't provide any value to users, and falsifying reviews just for the sake of getting reviews. Be sure to keep up with the latest policies listed on Google's guidelines for representing a business on Google. The URL to that page can change, so just perform a search on support.google.com to find it. There are also several features that Google launched for all businesses in 2017 that deserve attention. One is questions and answers. When viewing a GMB page, you'll see a section where users can ask questions and anyone can answer. It's in the best interest of the business to monitor these closely to ensure all questions are answered in a timely manner. Some businesses have even chosen to ask questions themselves and then answer them to make this section a sort of pseudo FAQ section. Another feature that's gained a lot of traction is posts. Posts on a GMB page are different than an organic social media post on something like Facebook because they're designed specifically for businesses to promote their brand. Posts also give the GMB page more real estate in the knowledge panel. They come in handy for sharing news about special deals and events from the business. There are other features like direct messaging and the ability to upload videos to GMB pages that we could talk about, and other features specific to certain business types, but the big takeaway here is to just keep up on the latest features available and utilize what makes sense. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.